Imagine growing up, knowing that history has already decided who the villain is. When most people hear the name Lady Tremaine, they immediately think of Cinderella's cruel stepmother. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if there was another side that no one ever cared to hear? That's exactly what Rachel Hochhauser's Lady Tremaine explores, and it's one of those stories that completely changes the way you look at a familiar character. Instead of giving you another retelling of Cinderella, this audiobook takes you behind the scenes and asks a fascinating question. How does someone become the person everyone fears? As you listen, you'll discover a woman shaped by impossible expectations, heartbreaking choices, social pressure, and painful sacrifices. Rather than a one-dimensional villain, Lady Tremaine becomes someone with dreams, regrets, strengths, and flaws that feel surprisingly real. What makes this audiobook so compelling isn't just the fresh perspective, it's the emotional journey. Every chapter challenges what you think you know. You'll constantly question who is right, who is wrong, and whether every story truly has a hero and a villain. Rachel Hochhauser writes with depth and empathy, creating characters that feel human instead of perfect. The world is rich, emotional, and filled with moments that make you stop and think, long after you've finished listening. And if you're an audiobook fan, this story becomes even more immersive. Hearing the dialogue, emotions, and dramatic moments performed by a talented narrator brings the characters to life in a way that reading alone simply can't match. This is the perfect audiobook if you enjoy fairy tale retellings, villain origin stories, historical fantasy, character-driven fiction, emotional family drama, stories that challenge classic myths. Even if you've heard the Cinderella story dozens of times, you've never experienced it quite like this. That's what makes Lady Tremaine special. It doesn't ask you to forget the original story. It simply asks you to look at it from another angle. Sometimes the villain isn't born evil. Sometimes they're simply misunderstood. If you love books that make you question everything you believed about a famous story, this audiobook deserves a place on your listening list. And once you start listening, you'll probably find yourself sympathizing with the very character you once disliked. If you'd like to experience Lady Tremaine as an audiobook, check the link in the description to start your free audiobook trial and discover why so many readers are falling in love with this unforgettable retelling. Because every fairy tale has two sides, maybe it's finally time to hear hers.